All right, let's check out 4. Let's see if we can jump into someone else's head and try to see what their plan was and what they were thinking. I know that 1 and 2 are complements. So 1 plus 2 is equal to 90 degrees because that's what they told me. I know that angle 3 and 4 are complements. They add to 90 degrees. That's what somebody told me. And you ready for this? Angles 2 and 4 are congruent. So my job is to prove that angles 1 and 3 are congruent. So let's think about this and let's make our plan. So if I know that this plus this is 90 degrees, and I know this plus this is 90 degrees, and I know these two have the same value, I should be able to set them equal to each other. I should be able to subtract away what I know are the same and end up. So I think that's where we'll end up going. Let's see if this works. Don't you love having the first answer to every proof? All right, the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 is 90 degrees. Measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 4 is equal to 90 degrees. I know that because of my definition of complementary angles. All right, so already we've got the transitive property. So we're going to link these two. Do you see how these are both equal to the same things? So if this is equal to this and this is equal to that, then those two things must be equal to each other. Now, here's a question for you. Could you also have used the substitution property of equality? I'm going to say yes, because, that's angle 2. Measure of angle 2. As long as you're dealing with numerical values, your substitution property of equality allows you to substitute that in for that, 100%. All right, but they called it the transitive property of equality. Not a problem. All right, measure of angle 2 is equal to the measure of angle 4. Remember, that came from our given, but it doesn't quite match. So we can't say given. What we're going to say instead is that is our definition of congruent angles. And we can add angles and segments. That makes it more specific. That's a better answer. Now I need the substitution property of equality. So let's see. What do you think they substituted? Because let's talk about what we're looking for. We're hoping to end up with angle 3 and angle 1 left over. Now, if you want to substitute 4 in for 2, you can. If you want to substitute 2 in for 4, you can. It doesn't matter. So our steps here might end up a little bit different. I'm going to go ahead and substitute 4 in for 2. If you did it the other way around, you'll still end up at the right spot. Because guess what we're going to do? We're going to subtract out what we know. So the measure of angle 1 is equal to the measure of angle 3. And it's the subtraction property of equality that helped that happen. Now that I have their measures equal, I can talk about their angles being equal. So we can say that is our definition of congruent angles. So I went from congruence to numerical values, and here I went from numerical values to congruence. All right, that's number 4. You're over halfway through.